biggest of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, our third bout of the evening is a 6-rounder between lightweights, and the referee is Dick Picozzi. Introducing first, in the blue corner, wearing the red trunks, gold trim, weighing in at 168 pounds with a record of 4-1, 3 by knockout from New York City, Eddie the Silk Bryant. And in the red corner, wearing white trunks, weighing in at 172 pounds, a record of 6-3, 4 by knockouts from Rochester, New York, Kenny Wallace.
Thank you, Tony Matthews, identifying the fighters in our third match. You left out a rather important word.
Like heavyweights?
Like heavyweight. I identify them as lightweights. A little oversight. These guys are light heavyweights. The heaviest guys we'll see fighting tonight. Of course, the features are all in the junior welterweight division. Rochester's Kenny Wallace. Watch his brother, or at least knows that his brother won earlier. Rocky Fratto in the ring right now. So you got a chance to see Rocky right there. Our matchmaker we spoke to in the last fight. He helps train the Wallace boys. And he goes against Eddie the Silk Bryant out of New York City. I don't know if a light heavyweight wants a nickname, the Silk.
Well, not when you got 3 knockouts in 5 fights. The Silk would normally be your smooth or clever or slick.
What are we seeing here, Ray?
Right now, what they're doing, obviously, Wallace has come out with his the laces of the top of the glove were not entirely taped, so they've by law, by the rules, they've got to be entirely taped right at the top. Those laces could cut you very easily if they got in close.
Our referee is Dick Picozzi. And we are set. Third fight of the night, it's a 6-rounder light heavyweight, Kenny Wallace and Eddie Bryant. Bryant in the red.
Nice right hand on there by the Silk. Another nice right hand. Once again, this Wallace, Kenny, not unlike his brother, is absolutely bone dry. I can't understand why they're coming out without warming up even a little bit in the dressing room. And this is when they're most susceptible. Early in the first round, you get caught really very, very easily. But as we all know, the Wallace brothers know how to come back, because certainly his brother sure did.
Wallace with a 6-3 record, 4 of those by knockout. 172 pounds, he outweighs Bryant, who was 4-1 with the 3 knockouts in those 5 fights. What do you see different when you get into the heavier divisions now? We've been watching the lighter and smaller boxers, and now we get a junior heavyweight.
Yeah, obviously the first difference, of course, is that they're not as fast. But having said that, they also punch about 3 times as hard, and you just never know when a knockout can occur with these bigger guys. And this is 168 pounds, which is a great division. That's actually super middleweight. It's a terrific division. Of course, it's got the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in the world today, and that being Roy Jones. They got speed and power.
When you get up in a division, does the power become more of a factor, or do you think it's less of a factor?
Well,
in determining the fight.
In determining the fight, you know, speed sometimes is power. Many times there are fighters that can have tremendous one-punch knockout capabilities, and then there are other guys that can't punch quite as hard, but because of the leverage and the speed they get on the punch and the timing, they can get as many knockouts. Like Roy Jones Jr. is not a tremendous puncher, but he's a great puncher. I know that sounds almost synonymous, but there is a difference, and Roy Jones has it.
Is that the best professional division right now?
I kind of think so. I think the super middleweights are at this point. Now, of course, now with Mike Tyson back, it ought to finally get those heavyweights back in. I mean, finally we're going to look at some decent heavyweight fights with the top heavyweights fighting each other.
Well, although Tyson can't single-handedly fix things.
No, he can't, but he can bring excitement back into a dormant division, and people have been sort of joking about the heavyweights the past couple of years.
Don't back off from it. If your head is already down, and enough pump one jab, and stay down and go right to the body.
Don't go stay back.
That's when you're getting hit, and you're pulling back with that hand down. Just keep it up. But when you pump, when you hit, give him a drink, pump again.
Turn one eye with that fist.
Another question, Ray, as we listen into the corner of Bryant. What do you learn in that, as a guy who trains fighters, what do you learn in a first round? Like, can you really give a guy serious input based on what you're able to see after the first round?
You can basically, in the first round, what you're going to find out is a couple of things. You're going to find out whether the guy can punch, because he'll normally want to test you, your opponent, initially. You're going to find out his speed and his ability to block and defend certain punches. Many times the first round is strictly a take a look at round.
Because you don't generally, certainly in boxes of fighters like this, they don't have good scouting reports on each other.
No, they wouldn't at this point. So both guys in the first round basically just took a look at each other, and they tried a few different things, and then they're going back with the second round they can get some input from their corner, and hopefully the corner has spotted something, if not the fighter.
Ray scored the first round a draw.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of anything going on that round except a good look over by both guys. So far, the styles are almost a mirror image of each other. They both fight remarkably the same at this point, so it's going to be a real cat and mouse game at this point.
And they move well. They both move well.
Yeah, they really do. Each fighter are having their moments in this round. It's a difficult fight to score. Either one has taken over, has taken control.
Now the break sequence. We got a New York City fighter with Figueroa, who's won prior to that. What's your opinions on the guys that come from the big city?
Well, like the city itself. The very best and the very worst. I mean, they've got such an incredible plethora of fighters in that city, where I'm sure some of the best fights are the fights that never even actually get into the gym or get into the ring. They're in the gym themselves. But they got clearly lots of fighters, lots of sparring, and very well schooled, the majority of them.
Boy, some good combinations. Wallace's face is showing a little bit of wear. But you're right, neither one of these guys seems to be developing a serious edge.
Yeah, just when one guy looks like he's going to take over, the other fella comes, throwing back. So it's difficult to tell who you like here. Wallace has a lightning fast right hand. Unfortunately for him, he should be playing for the local Rochester baseball team, because he keeps throwing it right over his head. It's not a straight right hand at all.
That's what I'd have done. Where do you want it? Sorry. All right, on the replay from the second round, Wallace, the aggressor here, combination, hitting on Bryant. That was a nice punch.
Yeah, they both sort of traded left hooks there, but Wallace got in a nice right hand that put the Silk off balance there. So once again, not a whole lot to choose from that round, but I gave it to Wallace. Based on a few more right hand shots he's throwing.
There you go. Second down.
Start around 3.
Nice right hand on there by Wallace. Like his brother Nate, he's a slow starter. And
I know you're going to say that at least part of that is due to that warm-up.
I'm convinced it is. I mean, I've never seen guys that bone dry. Well, I shouldn't say never, but I mean, it's something they should learn. You got to warm up that dressing room. You can get into real serious trouble in that first round if you don't. Oh, very nice right hand landed by Wallace, but then Bryant returned a great left hook in return. I mean, once again, we got ourselves a very evenly matched fight.
At some point, these punches have to take a toll on one or the other of them.
Yeah, these guys can punch. There's no question. They got a high knockout ratio, and you can't wing punches like that without getting hurt. Nice body work inside there by Bryant.
Came up hard with one.
Nice right hook inside, uppercut. Great work by Bryant there.
Eddie Bryant in the red, Kenny Wallace in the white. Kenny from Rochester, Eddie Bryant, the New York City fighter. The third of 7 boxing matches for you tonight. That's right, back and forth. Punch, punch one way, punch, punch the next.
You know, it's remarkable that, you know, even though these guys haven't had too many fights, but heaven knows the very first thing they're taught when they get into a boxing ring is to throw a few jabs. When in doubt, throw a couple of jabs. It sets everything up. I mean, there's so few jabs being thrown in this fight because they're both carried away by knocking the other guy out, that either fighter can start to take over in this fight very simply by getting their jab working. These guys just don't believe in jabbing. Everything is power shots. Oh, nice right hand landed by Bryant, right in the chin. Bryant's having a much better round this round.
Can't do it anymore.
Take a look at some of the third round. Bryant in the red will land here. There it is.
Nice shot by Bryant. That was the Bryant round I gave to him. I thought he clearly won that fight, or won that round.
Halfway through.
Not a whole lot of finesse, but a lot of bombs. They're just so intent of knocking each other out that they've just sort of forgotten all about the fundamentals of the sport. That's to throw, and Bryant certainly has a very nice jab when he chooses to throw it.
You kind of get locked in though, and it's tough to change once you start fighting like this.
Yeah, because they're both having pretty good success landing bombs in each other's chin and body. But it's a pretty tough way to make a living.
It is by choice.
It is by choice. Oh, what a great right hand landed by Wallace on Bryant's chin that time. These guys just go back and forth. Now it's Bryant's turn. It's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots in there. I mean, you hit me, I hit you.
Penny Wallace, Eddie Bryant, round 4. They'll go 6.
Nice body work inside there by Wallace in that exchange.
Bill Pucko, Ray Rudder with you. Ray has a fight so far scored dead even for 3.
This is a Wallace round, and Wallace has just cracked Bryant with a great right hand. It's the first time tonight that I've seen Bryant stagger a bit. So he was definitely stumped. Not surprisingly, mind you. I mean, these guys are almost apologizing if they miss each other. I mean, there's just void of any real defense. Certainly not a jab throw, and perhaps 1 or 2 in each round. And that's just cursory. Right hand leads, left hooks. It makes for great action, but it's going to be a tough night for both these guys when they go back to the hotel rooms tonight.
Not to think of a jab as being self-preservation, but really it is, isn't it?
It sure is. It's the best offense and it's the best defense. Offensively, because it sets everything up. Oh, what a great right uppercut. Bryant just nailed Wallace walking in. But as I was saying, it's a great offense because it starts your offense up the left jab, sets everything else up, and it's a great defense when you have nothing else to do, or you're a little bit tired. You can always throw the jab to defend the other guy from getting in close. These fellas have just forgotten it in their dressing rooms tonight.
Talk about one getting a little bit of momentum. I think it's moving Bryant's way. Take a look here as Bryant is going to hit Wallace with probably the single best punch of the match so far. It's an uppercut that really snaps him back. That one.
Rock'em sock'em robots, I'll tell you.
How do you score that round?
Well, I've given it to Bryant. It looks like he's coming on a little bit, but that's not to say Wallace has not had his moments. I mean, once again, this is why the judges get paid such big bucks, because they're just taking turns. You hit me, I hit you, and let's see who gets the most hits. But right now, I'd say that the tide is sort of swinging towards Bryant, but very, very close. Anyone's fight, so it's still up in the air. Wallace stuck a nice right hand in there. Bryant returns the favor.
Okay, let him go. Break. Go.
Bryant is not letting up as you watch him try to build on some of that momentum over the last 2 rounds. It becomes, in terms of scoring, an important round for Wallace, who doesn't want to have to get into that last round needing a knockout.
That's right, and it's a very important round for Bryant in the sense that he appears to be the fellow that's coming on, and he wants to punctuate that by taking this round. Nice short shots delivered in there by Bryant. They both score with right uppercuts inside. I mean, it's just amazing the way that these guys are hitting each
We're
other.
about to comment on one of them, and the other one throws one, and well, it's tied again. Yeah, it'd be nice. I don't know. And then keeping the kind of statistics that they do on some of these high-profile fights, but the number of punches thrown here.
Yeah, it's astonishing. I was going to comment on that before. It's a shame we don't have CompuBox here because the number of power punches is astonishing, and the lack of jabs is even more so. So it's a real exciting fight.
I can say too is either one of these guys has aspirations of going further. They're going to have to learn to fight a little differently.
Yeah, they got to learn what something's pretty important in boxing. That's called defense. You see how easy it is. Every time that Bryant throws a left jab, he can't miss Wallace. He just chooses not to throw it. He can make his life so much easier. I hate to be repetitive, but it's the truth. All Bryant's got to do is pop him with that left jab, and he hits him square in the chin every single time. Wallace's hands are down so low that he's just sitting at the target for him.
Wallace hit with another good left. Just as you called it.
Put your way out. Put your way out. Break. Break. Hands up.
One round to go. Bryant in the red. Show you another combination by Eddie Bryant against Rochester's Kenny Wallace. And again, these are not the artful combinations that we're seeing in the lower weight classifications. Because again, these guys just continue to throw the power punch at each other. You saw Wallace get one, Bryant comes back, and it's been like that for 5 rounds. The good news for both of these guys is that this is the last round of this fight.
But I don't know about how much, but they may be hearing bells in their head for quite some time after this.
I think Wallace needs a knockout here.
Very unofficially, I don't know if he needs a knockout, but I think he needs a very big win, and I think he requires to score a knockdown to win this fight. I still have it close. I have Bryant slightly ahead, but clearly Wallace must win this fight. And at least the early going here, it looks like Bryant has a bit more steam left. His punches have got a little bit more snap, and they're a little more accurate.
Okay, break.
Bryant's are.
Kenny trying to join his brother Nate, who in the first fight of the evening was a winner in a unanimous decision in a junior middleweight battle. This is a light heavyweight. 2 biggest guys we'll see in the ring tonight.
Amazing. I mean, Bryant could make this fight so easy for himself. And Wallace could learn to throw a jab too. And the thing is, in the gym, I bet you these guys throw all kinds of nice jabs. They've just totally forgotten it tonight because they're both in a comfort zone. Because they're both having success throwing bombs.
And that's not unusual, to take a different kind of a game out under the lights than you keep in the gym.
That's right, Bill.
Break. Break.
Makes for great action, but it's a tough way to learn the business. Wow. Bryant just nailed him with a great right hand. And another right hand. And another one. All 3. I mean, there's just no such thing as defense here.
Really, I like to use the term, this is a street fight.
Yeah, it really and truly is. And don't get me wrong, Wallace is nothing if not tough. He's dead tough. There's no quit in him. There just doesn't appear to be a whole lot left in Wallace's gas tank.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's throwing everything at Bryant. Bryant is throwing everything at Wallace. Bryant just had a little bit more, at least in my opinion, tonight. Oh, another one.
Well, they lived up to the heavyweight reputation. These guys are light heavyweights, but they fought a heavyweight battle. We'll wait for the scoring on this, but we anticipate a decision going to Eddie Bryant. And again, just like in the preceding battle, with both of these guys knowing that the result was in question, they fought right up to the bell. Bryant in the red, Wallace in the white. Nothing but throws.
Yeah, and nothing but hits, which is even more astonishing. And for both guys, I mean, they both got to learn something about something called a jab and something called defense.
My imagination has boxing become a little more gracious than it used to be. Guys at the end of these fights will all get along.
Well, there's a certain understanding between each guy. I mean, they've just thrown everything they've got on the line, like these fellas just have. And there's a whole lot of respect for each other. Takes a lot of guts walking in.
Wallace going over to the opposing corner, touching hands with the trainers.
Both guys knows how tough it was getting. You know, this is the easy part for them. The hard part was the 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks training.
We'll show a little bit again of the early round action. The sixth. And again, Wallace put in a difficult position whether or not he knew at this point, but he really needed a decisive round.
Yeah, he really needed a big round, and he just didn't get it. There was just a question of both guys huffing and puffing, neither one hitting, but.
The guys that are in the ring, I mean, do they generally understand the situation that they find themselves in?
Well, if they don't, certainly their corner should, and that's why the guys in the corner are entrusted to figure out what they got to do. And sometimes it's as simple as say, "Hey, buddy, you got to win this round to win this fight." So, and I'm sure both corners wanted to win that last round. Although as I say, I felt that Bryant clearly had a substantial edge.
You wonder if they discard that kind of advice, however, because if you're in Bryant's corner, you're not going to tell him, "Hey, you've got it," unless you get knocked down. You'll never hear that.
No, you won't do that. You do occasionally hear you got to knock the guy out, though, and or you got to win the round big.
But Bryant's corner would obviously like to keep him aggressive in that last round, so they would at least tell him that you have to win this round.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I've been thoroughly entertained by these first three.
No question about it.
They've all been different. They've all been competitive.
They really have, and that's the beauty of a great matchmaker like Rocky Fratto.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision.
Here we go.
Judge Latham scores the bout 60-54. Judge Garcia scores the bout 59-55, and Judge Hicks scores it 60-54. Winner by unanimous decision from the blue corner, Eddie the Silk Bryant.
Rather decisive score, 60-54 on 2 cards.
Yeah, on 2 cards, which I'm sort of surprised at. They gave the entire 6 rounds to Bryant, which is fair. I mean, I understand that. I did feel, however, that Wallace did win a couple of those rounds.
Darryl Rough Kid Ruffin against Ricardo Smith, the New York City fighter against a young man from Syracuse.